Stuart, there's been an overwhelmingly positive response to your announcement yesterday that you're going to be the new head coach of Connacht Rugby for the 25-26 season. What's the last 24 hours been like for yourself?
Pretty crazy. I think the original plan was to announce it today. Anyway, it got pulled forward to yesterday. So I was actually presenting at a conference. It was a football conference in England, football managers conference. Got the call from Willie saying, "Listen, I think we're going to announce it." And I said, "Okay, that's grand, but I'm just about to turn the phone off." So anyway, I did the conference. It started at about 11 o'clock and I put the phone on about 12:30 and about 100 text messages. So, no, great response. Lots of people from Ireland who I've met in the past or players I've coached and have been in contact. People from my own family, my own career in England and obviously in France as well. The French lads text me. And also people who are supporters of Connacht, you know. There seems to be loads. Actually, all over the world have come to conclusions. So, no, it's been amazing. It's been amazing, really. So great to come across today to see the facility, meet the people, and get a feel for what it's going to be like in a few weeks' time.
You've touched on it there, a bit of your experience between Leeds, where it started off, and then into England and various roles there. Obviously, head coach of the national squad. Leinster, Racing. What was it that drew you to Connacht in the west of Ireland? I
think obviously the touch point with Ireland started with Leinster, and that first year at Leinster, I just realised how similar the people from Ireland are to the people from Cumbria, where I'm from originally, and people from the north of England actually, very similar. I'm from a sort of farming background, and the rural nature of living in Cumbria, and I actually went to a school on the west coast of Cumbria, so it's a bit like. It's not as bad as the west coast of Ireland in terms of the wind and the rain, but it's pretty similar. So that sort of connection with the Irish culture grew during the 7 years. Obviously, then I took the opportunity to go to France, and that was completely different. But then when I spoke to Willie, I spoke to David Humphreys, the opportunity to come back and then to come and do it in a club like Connacht, it was too good to turn down, really. So super excited. My wife Nina, she'll be across. Soon enough, so we'll get her across. We've got 2 dogs, so we need to navigate the ferry and get them across somehow. But no, really looking forward to living over here and trying to make a difference,
And first impressions, new high performance centre here at Dexcom Stadium. What is it like to be here and in situ and meeting some of the staff?
Well, it's changed a lot, hasn't it? I mean, my first year here was 2016, playing coaching Leinster against Connacht, and the ground itself has obviously changed a huge amount. I came and watched Racing play because Dan was playing, my son was playing for Racing against Connacht, and I saw the new stadium. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And I actually didn't realise how impressive this place is until I arrived today. Because, again, going back to the Leinster-Connacht games, there was a sort of marquee where we are now, and that was it. So to have a facility as good as this, an indoor space, a great gym, good meeting room, great facilities for the players, physio, S&C, the whole way it's designed is geared towards high performance. So to have a high performance centre for the players and the coaches to develop in, to have a pitch that we can play a great brand of rugby on, and to have a stadium where supporters can come and get behind the team, it's a win-win-win. And the development of the environment here has been incredible, really, over the last few years. And credit to everyone who's got it to this place. It wasn't actually the bit that got me. The bit that got me was to come and coach the team. But actually, this is a real bonus.
When you did come here and as a coach of the opposition, what were your first impressions? Can you give us a bit of an insight into how you would have approached coming here to Dexcom Stadium to play against Connacht?
It was never easy, ever. There were great games I've had against Connacht where Leinster managed to get across the line, and there were other times in Connacht, one particular time that sticks in my mind, got absolutely smashed Leinster, and it was the week before the Champions Cup final in 2018, and I still remember it now. So Connacht would always raise their game, it felt to me, and I would always impress on the Leinster players the importance of the Interpros, and I think it's something that I want to bring to life again this season coming. Obviously the record last year wasn't as strong as it should have been or could have been, and it's not just about Leinster, obviously, it's about Munster and Ulster as well, and that Irish rivalry is a real strength for Ireland. But the sense of identity, I think, has always been very strong here, and the passion of the supporters and what it means to the people. You could really feel it when you played against Connacht, and you always had to up your game another 10% to try and get over the line. And sometimes Leinster did, sometimes they didn't. But there was never an easy game, never.
Coupled with new facilities, there's obviously a new coaching team as well. Rob Saib as new attacks coach. Cully Tucker and John Muldoon are staying in situ. And you have Billy Millard as well coming as general manager of the performance side. How are you going to manage that, and have you met the lads yet?
Yeah, so Billy I would have known before I arrived. Obviously, I saw the news about Billy rejoining Connacht, coming from Harlequins. And a big plus of Billy coming to Connacht for me is that it'll mean that a lot of the managerial part of the job, which I don't mind doing, and I end up doing a lot of this in France, Billy and I can share, and certainly Billy can take the lead on. So it was a big plus for me to know that Billy was coming as in that sort of general manager role. Obviously with Willie and Tim and everyone else who's here, I feel there's good support around me, which means I can concentrate on the coaching.
And a very talented, exciting squad to get your hands on as well. And you touched on it there, a level of experiences from maybe the guys coming out of the academy and guys who are going on Lions tours. In particular, the younger players. You have a track record of developing and growing and supporting those young players to come through. How excited are you about the prospects here in Connacht Rugby?
Yeah, no. I mean, I look back at in my presentation to the panel, I did an analysis of the last season, and obviously the end result in terms of the league table was not where anyone wanted it to be. But actually, statistically, in a lot of the metrics, you'd say Connacht were very good. So credit, I think, for the foundations that Mark Sexton, Pete's put in, Scott Fardy, who I know pretty well. Those guys did a great job, and I feel part of the attraction of coming was I felt the foundation is strong. In terms of like the quality of the squad. There's been tweaks I'll be thinking about in terms of like how we approach training and how we approach certain games and how we play. But overall, I think there's a really good foundation. And when I look at the quality of the players, the age profile of the squad, the quality of the young players who are available, and knowing what I know about how to try and develop that group, I think it's a really exciting opportunity for us to kick on now. You don't want to put yourself and make predictions too early, but if we can improve the areas I think that are standing out to me, that are obvious to me, I think we do better than last season. Set ourselves a goal of qualifying into the playoffs, because obviously you're in the playoffs this time of year and you want to be in those. And obviously Europe is a big one for me as well, having had the experience of Leinster. And also, I guess the disappointment of Racing really about how it turned out for me. So there's a real desire in me to want to do well. And I want to pass on what I've learned to the players and the coaches here. And
you've also always been very generous of your time towards grassroots rugby. I'm sure it'd be no different here when you get across the 5 counties. You must be looking forward to getting out beyond Galway and then seeing what rugby and the province has to offer.
I came through like the amateur era. So Tuesday, Thursday, play Saturday. Tuesday, Thursday, play Saturday, and I came from Cumbria, which is very, very similar. And so I understand how important grassroots rugby is to the community, but also how grassroots rugby feeds into a province and how it feeds into Connacht. So I would see that as a big priority for me to engage with the clubs and the schools, and with Eric in particular, help Eric in the academy. And little things you can do like masterclass evenings, invite down coaches from the clubs in the area, in the province, and share what you've learned. It's an easy start point for me, and I love doing that coach development stuff anyway. So yeah, I see that happening early. Obviously, the other thing would be connection with supporters. Whenever I've been here, it's always been passionate, and it's only going to get hopefully bigger and better with the new stand and how many people we can get into the ground, but also the sponsors. Because if we're to grow Connacht to be truly competitive, which is what our aim is, then we need to get the sponsors and the people who are going to support the club financially to really buy into the vision of where we're going. And if we can get everyone aligned together, so that's the grassroots, the sponsors, the supporters, and the team and the players all going in one direction, I think it's a pretty powerful force. I really do. And I think within, 12 to 18 months, we can really be starting to make a move into where we want to be, which is the top echelons of the game in Europe.
We've been making a big move ourselves across into the new facilities and the new Dexcom Stadium in earnest in January time. But what is the message for supporters from the start of the season?
Well, I think just keep doing what you're doing. Like, I think your support is amazing. I've never been here once and not felt the passion. I know there's been some tough times as well, but I really think the stadium, the facility, the new coaching team. The playing group obviously is maybe similar, but I'm confident we can get another 20, 30, 40% out of them. So get behind the group. I'm looking at the pre-season plan, and one of the things I'm really want to try and do is create a couple of open training sessions, and potentially even have a training game before we actually get the first game on board, and get supporters down so they get a feel for the evolution. I'll be as good as I can be in terms of comms and giving the insight, which again makes people feel part of the team, because I think if you can draw that energy together, it's an unbelievably hard place to come and win here, but then we need to be as good on the road as well when we don't have the home support. So that's the challenge as well, but I'm excited, and I think supporters will be hopefully excited to see the team play.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Stuart.
Thanks.